Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into the world of Gen Z
Oh, yeah.
through the lens of Peller and Javis,
Yep.
two of Nigeria's biggest content creators.
Right.
You sent us this interview from the Honest Bunch podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, it's a wild ride.
For sure.
From like a very public proposal
Wow.
to like real talk about careers and relationships.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. Yeah. So where should we even begin
I think
with this deep dive?
we have to start with the proposals.
A little proposal.
Because Peller proposes to Javis on a movie set.
Yeah.
Like, what even is that?
I know, right?
What kind of proposal is that?
It's definitely not.
Not traditional.
No, like a candlelit dinner, nothing like that.
No.
But I think that's what makes it so interesting. It's like,
Yeah, it's very Gen Z.
yeah, Pella's generation just seems so comfortable blurring the lines between online and offline. Like their lives are just so intertwined.
Yeah.
And just very public display
Oh, yeah.
of affection.
Yeah.
It's like performance art.
Yeah.
Shared with thousands
Instantly.
instantly.
Yeah, and you see Javis's reaction.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you can't fake that shock.
No.
But then Peller brushes off the cost of the ring.
I know.
Like, it's no big deal.
Like this is how we do things.
Yeah.
Right? For older generations, like a ring is a huge financial commitment,
Yeah.
a symbol of stability.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But maybe for Pella, the symbolism is different.
Yeah.
It's about the gesture,
Mm-hmm.
the online clout,
Mm-hmm.
the instant gratification.
Yeah. What do you think? Does this tell us anything about Gen Z's relationship with money?
Well, it definitely makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Especially because later in the interview, they both talk about financial independence being super important.
Yes.
Like, that's a big thing for them.
Yeah, it's almost a contradiction.
Right.
Like, splurging on a ring, but also stressing the importance of earning your own money.
Yeah, it might seem that way on the surface.
Yeah.
But I think there's a deeper story here.
Okay.
Like, for Gen Z,
Yeah.
financial independence isn't just about practicalities. It's about control.
Okay.
You know, think about the world they grew up in.
Yeah.
Like the gig economy,
Mm-hmm.
student debt, climate anxiety.
Yeah.
Maybe this need to make your own money to be your own boss.
Yeah.
It's less about greed and more about taking charge.
Taking control.
Yeah, in a world that feels increasingly unstable.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
That's an interesting take. It makes you think about their relationship in a different light, too.
Right.
Because Javis moves to Lagos for Peller,
Yeah.
even though she says she hates the city.
I know.
What?
It's wild.
Yeah.
But there's that Gen Z independence again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being tied to a place or a traditional support system.
Right.
They're creating their own families, their own communities,
Yeah.
wherever they go.
Mm.
Avis even describes Pella as her only family in Lagos. It really highlights how chosen family is becoming just as important as, if not more important, than biological family for this generation.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, I see that all the time with my friend group.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're basically my family at this point, and we're all over the country.
Right.
But we stay connected online, and when we need support,
Yeah.
we turn to each other first.
It's like you've created your own safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just about emotional support.
Right.
It's about shared values,
Yeah.
shared experiences.
Mm.
You know, they understand each other in a way that previous generations might not,
For sure.
you know?
And speaking of understanding,
Yeah.
Javis makes a really interesting comment about Pella.
Oh, yeah.
She says he's actually more sensible than his online persona suggests.
Interesting.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, how much can we really know about someone based on their social media?
Right. Like, how much is real
Yeah.
and how much is performance?
Exactly.
It's a question we all grapple with.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Pella,
Right.
who's built a career on being this larger-than-life character.
Yeah.
But as Javis points out, there's always more to the story.
Yeah.
This idea of online personas being just a curated version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we all do to some extent.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe Gen Z is just more aware of the performance aspect of it all,
Yeah.
you know?
And maybe more willing to play with those different versions of themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember Javis talking about how Peller can embody different characters?
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're constantly code switching depending on the platform. And
Right, like they're
Yeah.
fluent in the language of the internet,
Yeah.
able to adapt and shift their persona to fit whatever situation they're in.
Yeah. Do you think that's a skill that's unique to Gen Z?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a generational aspect to it,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's also just the evolution of communication in a digital age.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's
Hard
hard.
to tell where one ends and the other begins.
Right, exactly.
But I think what's clear
Yeah.
is that Pella and Javis, they give us a lot to think about.
For sure.
From their relationships to their finances to their online personas. They're really representing a generation that's challenging the way we think about everything.
It's true.
So let's delve a little deeper
Okay.
into their individual journeys after a quick break.
So, like, their individual journeys are so different,
Yeah.
but they both have this drive to succeed.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Pella's story is like he goes from mimicking other creators to buying a Toyota
Right out of secondary school.
straight out of secondary school.
Like he was born for this digital
I don't
ace.
know, right? And he's so casual about it.
So casual.
Just drops these anecdotes about his early hustle like it's no big deal.
Do you think that confidence is just Gen Z?
I think it's a bit of both. Pella definitely has that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
a willingness to experiment and take risks.
That we see with a lot of Gen Z.
Yeah, but it's also important to remember the context.
Okay.
He's coming of age in Nigeria,
Right.
a country with a huge youth population and a booming digital economy. And in a way, he's a product of his environment.
Yeah.
He's seizing the opportunities that are available to him.
In a way that older generations just wouldn't have.
Right, like they couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, it's like he saw the potential of these online platforms before anyone else.
Absolutely. And he wasn't afraid to just jump in and figure it out.
Yeah. But even with all his success, he still seems frustrated by the lack of recognition for streamers.
Oh, totally.
Remember how he was talking about wanting a separate award category?
Yeah. Like for streamers specifically.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new category of entertainment.
Right, and traditional institutions just aren't keeping up.
Exactly. And for Pella, it's not just about the awards themselves.
Right.
It's about legitimacy. Like he wants his work to be seen as a valid art form.
Yeah, not just an internet trend.
Not just some fleeting thing.
And it's not just about him.
Right? He's advocating for a whole community.
A whole community of creators.
Who are really pushing the boundaries of what entertainment can be.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're here, we're talented.
We deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah, and they're not waiting for permission.
No, they're building their own tables.
Yeah.
Creating their own platforms. Defining success on their own terms.
Love that.
Which brings us to Javis.
Okay.
And her perspective on relationships. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Her advice to young women is so clear.
Yeah.
Earn your own money.
Be a helpmeet.
Know your worth.
Like she's rewritten the script on what it means to be a strong, independent woman in a relationship.
I was so struck by her reaction to that infidelity scenario.
Oh my gosh.
She didn't even hesitate.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance. She's like, I deserve respect, and I'm not settling for anything less.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of self-assuredness that we're seeing more and more in Gen Z women.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve them.
Whether it's a job, a friendship, a relationship.
Yeah, it's about prioritizing their own well-being.
But setting those boundaries,
yeah,
it's so different from previous generations.
Right, like that whole stand by your man mentality.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
But it's not just about independence.
Right.
Javis also talks about wanting to be a helpmeet to Pella.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like she's redefining what partnership means.
Yeah.
Finding that balance between supporting your partner and maintaining your own identity.
It's a tough balance.
It is. It's nuanced.
But she seems to have figured it out.
Yeah, and it challenges those traditional gender roles.
For sure.
It's not about rejecting the idea of being a supportive partner.
Right.
But it's doing it on your own terms.
From a place of strength.
Yeah, and equality.
And I think that resonates with a lot of young people today. Oh, absolutely. They're looking for relationships that are based on mutual respect. You know?
Shared goals.
Yeah, and a genuine appreciation for each other's individuality.
It makes you wonder if this is the future of love.
It could be.
This generation that's less concerned with societal expectations.
Right.
And more focused on building authentic connections.
Based on shared values?
Yeah.
It's certainly a possibility.
But every generation has its challenges when it comes to love and relationships.
That's true. The pressures might be different.
Right.
But that fundamental human need for connection
Stays the same.
It never goes away.
Okay, speaking of challenges, let's talk about money for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Pella casually mentions making up to 10 million naira.
A night from streaming on TikTok.
It's a life-changing amount of money.
Especially for someone so young.
Especially for someone so young.
It is, and it really shows the earning potential.
Of these online platforms.
Yeah, but we have to remember that Pella's success isn't typical,
For every Peller, there are thousands of creators
who are struggling.
struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah, and even for those who do find success,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much pressure
To keep it going.
to maintain that momentum.
It's a constantly evolving landscape.
The algorithms can change overnight.
You're always at the mercy of the algorithm.
It makes you wonder how he stays so relaxed about it.
I know.
Remember how he talked about not overthinking his content?
Oh, yeah.
Just talks, engages with the audience,
Yeah.
lets his personality shine through.
It's a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
In a world where everything's so curated.
So polished.
Peller's authenticity is refreshing.
Yeah, it's like he's figured out that the best way to connect online is to just be yourself.
Exactly.
And it's working.
It's working.
He's built a loyal following.
Yeah, who appreciate his humor and his vulnerability.
And his willingness to just be real.
To be real.
But even with his laid-back approach, he's still strategic.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that streaming session with DeVito?
Oh, that was brilliant. By collaborating with established artists.
He's expanding his reach.
Yeah. He's attracting new followers.
Solidifying his position.
In the entertainment industry.
It's a win-win.
A total win-win.
For both of them.
It brings more exposure to the artist.
Introduces Peller to a wider audience.
And provides great content for the fan.
And it speaks to that Gen Z understanding of networking and relationships.
Yeah, they know that collaboration is key.
It's key.
In this digital age.
Yeah, they're not afraid to reach out to connect with people to build bridges.
And that's something we can all learn from.
I think so too.
But there's also this tension.
Yeah.
This generational clash that keeps coming up.
Yes.
Like Javis talking about her grandmother's concerns about societal expectations.
Yeah.
It's like this constant push and pull.
Between tradition and innovation.
Yeah, trying to navigate those two worlds.
Yeah, honoring the past, but also forging your own path.
And maybe that's the essence of Gen Z.
Yeah, embracing the past while shaping the future.
Challenging norms, questioning authority, demanding a world that reflects their values.
And they're doing it with such confidence and creativity.
It's inspiring.
It really is.
Let's take a moment to reflect on all of this before we wrap up.
Yeah, that sounds good. And they're using their platform for more than just entertainment.
It's like they're challenging the status quo.
Remember Pella's comment about rich kids getting away with stuff?
Oh, yeah.
While others get punished for the same thing?
Totally.
They're not afraid to call out hypocrisy.
Even if it makes people uncomfortable.
Exactly. And what's so striking is they're not shying away from difficult conversations.
No, they're using their influence to shine a light on injustice.
Yeah, inequalities.
Making us think critically about these systems we live in.
And they do it in a way that's engaging.
Relatable.
Not preachy at all.
No.
They're just sharing their perspective.
Their experiences.
Which makes their message even more powerful.
It's a form of activism that's native to their generation.
Totally. They're using the tools and platforms they grew up with
to amplify their voices.
Connect with a global audience.
And it's not just about awareness.
Right.
It's about sparking dialogue.
Inspiring action.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're having a real impact.
Oh, for sure.
Like their fans are listening.
Engaging.
Yeah. What can other generations learn from this?
From Gen Z's approach to activism, I think a lot.
Yeah.
Their fearlessness, their willingness to experiment, their understanding of these digital tools for social change.
Yeah.
Those are valuable lessons.
Yeah, they're showing us that activism can be creative.
It can be humorous.
It can be personal.
And incredibly effective.
It's like they're rewriting the rules.
Finding new ways to connect with people.
And mobilize these movements.
And it's not just social issues.
Right.
Remember Javis talking about her generation thinking and acting faster.
Yeah, like they have this urgency.
This drive to make things happen now.
Not later.
That's a key insight.
Into how they think.
They're not content to wait for change.
No.
They're shaping the world they want to live in.
It's inspiring.
It is.
And a little intimidating.
I wouldn't say intimidating. More like a call to action. Peller and Javis are just one example of the talent and energy,
the passion
within Gen Z.
They're innovators, creators, change makers.
Already making an impact on the world.
It makes you excited to see what they'll do next.
Absolutely. They're just getting started.
So that was our deep dive.
Into the world of Peller and Javis.
And Gen Z.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
We started with an interview about 2 content creators.
Right.
But we ended up exploring generational shift.
Digital innovation.
The changing landscape of love money activism.
It's a lot.
It is.
Any final thoughts?
I think the key takeaway is don't underestimate this generation.
Gen Z.
Yeah, while Peller and Javis give us a glimpse.
It's just a glimpse.
Gen Z is so diverse.
Yeah.
Their experiences are varied. Their perspectives are nuanced.
Their impact is only beginning to be felt. We need to listen to them.
Learn from them.
Engage in meaningful dialogue.
To build a future that reflects their values.
Exactly.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity.
Maybe even some questions.
What resonated with you?
How do Pella and Javis's experiences challenge your perceptions of Gen Z?
What role can we all play in shaping the future?
For all generations.
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep the conversation going.
That's the beauty of a deep dive.
It's just the beginning.